Hey everyone, it's Tom Seymour from VHS Massacre Radio. I don't always review video games, but when I do, they are retro video games, typically. So today I'm going to be looking at the Piko Interactive Collection Trailer 3 for the Evercade. Evercade, of course, is a very cool game system. It's new within the last few years. There's a handheld and also there's a home version, and it actually takes physical cartridges. Typically, these are very well curated libraries of films, which makes it all the more interesting and satisfying to buy them, and they're very reasonably priced, around $20. So let's look at some of these games. This is Piko. Piko tends to sort of buy up older games or unfinished games and release them. So in result, you actually have a lot. See, that's the that last one. So that's your home version, and actually you can fit 2 cartridge slots in there, which is cool because it ends up being about, that could easily be 30 games, because these Piko cartridges, the Evercade cartridges contain volumes of games. Some just have like 2 on there, but there can be as many as I think 16 is towards the high end of some of the other ones. But it's a very cool system. I have the original version. Let's see if they have that here. This is the newer EXP version. I have the original, which is the red and white one, but it still works great. I still love it. But I'm told the screen on this new one's great. But though this is a little more expensive, I think this is $150, but comes with, I think, about 20 Capcom games, including like Street Fighter 2 and Final Fight. So pretty amazing deal, and it's a well built system. So very cool stuff. Zero Tolerance. I think this is great. A lot of people have been waiting for more first person shooters to come out on the system. So Zero Tolerance is a, interesting game. Obviously, this looks like the Genesis version. It's got this tiny window. I think obviously people wanted something like Wolfenstein 3D or Doom, but I think for now this is what we're getting. Zero Tolerance. So it's better than nothing. This looks interesting. Radical Bikers. Yeah, it's got like a really fun feeling to it. Almost like a Paperboy, more cartoonish Paperboy feeling to it, Pretty cool. Some kind of 3D puzzler, not for me. I mean, I'll take a Tetris or Puzzle Fighter, but this is I don't know about these games. That looks like a Game Boy Advance. Sometimes you can tell Game Boy Advance games, but it's the total lack of contrast ratio. Like the steps between black and white, it's very minimum. You could tell it's very foggy. Like this here is black, and this is white. So, and of course super blocky because it was made for such a tiny screen. Metal Mech. Interesting graphics, actually, but on first impression, does not look particularly fun. Looks like a RoboCop-inspired game. This I'm actually very interested in. It's not that I particularly know much about this game, 40 Winks. I think this was a PlayStation 1 game. But just by the fact that this is able to take, a three-dimensional environment, like we're able to get that level of game on the Evercade. I find that intriguing, because if they can do this, then maybe they can get some weirder stuff. Like I'd love to see Jaguar CD stuff. Like I was one of the few people who owned that Highlander game for Jaguar CD. I'd like a few, maybe some rare Atari stuff would be a lot of fun, I think. Legend of Wukong. Yeah, this looks like a Chrono Trigger type of Zelda thing. It looks pretty cool. I think it was the Renaissance collection had all these types of RPGs on them, and I think I beat 3 or 4 of them. You know, pretty amazing stuff. But I did get kind of worn out on this stuff. So this Stanley, The Search for Dr. Livingstone. Yeah, could be fun. I've never seen it before, so yeah. And this does look. That racing game, they showed it for 2 seconds. I don't know how good it is. It looks cool, though. It does remind me of like the earliest Grand Theft Auto. So some of the top-down stuff racers can be fun. Who knows? Maybe that could be fun. This I'm actually really excited for. There was a game for Game Boy Advance called something like Wade Dixon or something boxing, Wade something boxing. I'm probably getting that wrong. But you kind of went through these different areas. So there's kind of an over map, and then you go and you'd have these boxing matches. This looks so similar. I'm wondering if it's not like a reskin. Who knows? But I actually like that game a lot, and so hopefully this is this is cool too. Game Boy Advance, I believe, was actually a 32-bit handheld system. I think it was. And so in the result, you get some 3D capabilities and you get colorful graphics. But again, you get pretty piss-poor contrast ratio. Again, the black levels to white levels, it's just really narrow. But you do get these big sprites, although very blocky because it was made for such a small screen. Okay. People don't like this game. I freaking love this game. And it's because they're not showing it here, but you could chop people's heads off, and the sprites are gigantic. So you have sprites of, adversaries are as tall as the skeleton. You know, they're just gigantic. And then you're in there, cutting their heads off and stuff. Is the control clunky? Yes, but I remember buying this game. I have this on Genesis, and I bought it at a convention. And I was so excited because I'd never heard of it. It was like a barbarian game, a warrior game, and it had this gigantic sprite. So I think as a game on this cartridge, I think it's very cool. And I went through the whole thing till I beat it. It was so hard, and I beat it using save states, which is cheating. But that's the only way I could beat it because it was so incredibly difficult. Anyway, I think this is cool. So that's the Piko 3 collection. Piko has a few other collections that are pretty good. I'm going to pre-order this one. I already ordered the Amiga one, actually. I think I was a little bit let down with, but I'm going to pre-order that one too. I was hoping for something like Defender of the Crown or Ninja or The Last Ninja or something. And it Barbarian 2, maybe something. So some of the games look cool, but I just don't have I never had an Amiga, so I don't have a strong connection with a lot of the titles, but I'm willing to pull the trigger on it. And then the Commodore Volume 2 I pre-ordered, and I actually don't think the selection is very good at all, but there's 1 or 2 games on there that I think are worth checking out. But anyway, so that's all for now. I am happy about the fact that they basically have 3 cartridges ready for release, which is pretty awesome. So anyway, that's Piko Collection Volume 3. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.